une population qui est bien nourrie, bien formée et bien éduquée et en bonne santé est une population productive. 75 à 80% de la population mondiale ne bénéficie pas d'un ensemble garanti, n'est-ce pas, de garanties sociales leur permettant de faire face aux aléas de la vie. Le socle de protection sociale est donc aujourd'hui une nécessité, une composante essentielle de la dimension sociale de la mondialisation qui reste encore une fois inégale et injuste. La coopération sud-sud est essentielle. Pourquoi? Parce que les pays ont sensiblement le même niveau de développement économique, le même environnement social, le même environnement culturel et certainement le même environnement socio-économique.
We thought that we should partner with ILO to transfer Brazilian good practices in this field because we have the experience in the field, we have practical experience, and you have the mandate. It's a good partnership. We feel that we are doing South-South cooperation, the one that we always talk about and nobody really knows what it is. And we understand that South-South cooperation is an experience from the South to be transferred to another country in the South Hemisphere, an experience from a developing country to another developing country. In the case of Brazil, an experience from a country that is multicultural, multi-ethnic, and has social imbalances that we know. The governments of Brazil have, especially the last one, is fighting very hard against this social injustice. And so we know what it means. We have good policies. We have a strong state. Brazil will probably next year, the GNP of Brazil will amount to $2 trillion. We'll probably be the 7th economy in the world. So we have a strong state, good, strong institutions, strong democracy, and we have, and we want to share.
We see that we have the very strongly political support and commitment, and that one is very closely linked with the national strategies on the economic growth and also social protection. So we need further advocacy on the social protection floor to fit with the country context. We have to focus on the human capacity, on the resources, on the networking, on the data information, so that we can build up the social protection floor for Vietnam.
Entrando no tema da conferência, que é o objetivo da cooperação Sul-Sul, né? Temos objetivos de desenrolar e institucionalizar sua capacidade de prestar cooperação para nós outros em ministério, aprender com as experiências de outros países, conceitos, metodologias e ferramentas, e reforçar a agenda de cooperação do Estado brasileiro. E mais especificamente em relação ao Ministério e ao programa, difundir o conceito de políticas públicas como direitos, difundir as perspectivas das condicionalidades nos programas de transferências de ingresso, difundir o cadastro único como uma ferramenta de integração de políticas sociais. É grande censo da pobreza que temos em Brasil, registro administrativo que hoje temos aproximadamente 80 milhões de pessoas identificadas. Difundir conceitos de monitoria e avaliação e disseminar a importância da integração de políticas sociais. Esses foram os objetivos que concertamos com a ABC, né, e com o governo brasileiro para que se pueda construir agendas de cooperação. Os aspectos do programa Bolsa Família mais buscados em la cooperação Sul-Sul é o cadastro único, processos, banco de dados, sistemas, roles institucionais, coordenação intersetorial, gestão e concepção de condicionalidades, avaliação e monitoreio, linha de pobreza e mecanismos de focalização, execução de Bolsa Família em nível local, estreitamento da cooperação política com o Brasil, esforços da cooperação Sul-Sul com organismos multilaterais.
Internationally, the Mahatma Gandhi Narega is the largest public employment program. It did cushion India in the recent economic meltdown. It's been a very dynamic program starting off in 2006, and is a perfect case study for innovative processes. It's also an example of how a social protection program can become a trigger for social growth and economic growth. Totally domestically funded, it also suggests new ways of international cooperation. Next one. The objective is to provide for the enhancement of livelihood security of households in rural areas by guaranteeing 100 days of wage employment every financial year to every household willing to do unskilled manual labor. So it's not confined to low-income groups. It's universal in terms of targeting, and it's universal in terms of its coverage as well. The NREGA has a genesis and a long history of wage employment programs in the country, but of course has received renewed focus on account of the policy for inclusive growth in a country which is seeing an acceleration of growth rate, but is still ridden with socioeconomic disparities. And the policy innovation that NREGA exemplifies is that it's a legal guarantee in a public employment program. It's also a rights-based, I happen to note the emphasis on a rights-based approach in the morning panelists. So here's the last example of a rights-based program, transferring rights to the poorest.
Las visitas de intercambio nos están enseñando que los países en desarrollo podemos aprender mucho y de una manera más efectiva a través del intercambio de nuestras propias experiencias. El éxito de esta metodología también está demostrando que la OIT puede jugar un rol fundamental como facilitadora para un desarrollo fructífero de las relaciones de cooperación sur-sur que garantiza una continuidad en los procesos de formación y asistencia técnica. La cooperación sur-sur todavía tiene mucho que brindarnos en materia de mejoramiento de las políticas sociales y nos permite ser protagonistas activos y solidarios del desarrollo de nuestros pueblos. Creemos que estamos en buen camino, creemos que dejaremos de ser esa isla rodeada de tierra gracias a esta cooperación, incluidos otros espacios de articulación importantes que venimos generando como región y como sociedades en el mundo.
Entonces desde la parte de la Organización de Trabajadores, estamos enfocando en este proyecto el fortalecimiento de la acción sindical para promover la erradicación de las peores formas de trabajo infantil en Haití. La Central, la Confederación de Trabajadores Haitianos, la CTH, es la agencia con la cual estamos trabajando más de cerca, ¿no? La CTH está ejecutando el proyecto en el día a día, también con otras organizaciones sindicales haitianas apoyando. El presupuesto total de ese proyecto es de $100.000. Un poco del contexto de Haití, que ustedes ya lo saben muy bien, es el país más empobrecido del continente, tiene uno de los más bajos índices de desarrollo humano. El 55% de la población no tiene acceso a los servicios de sanidad y el 75% no dispone de agua potable. Y esos datos son antes del terremoto, ¿no? Son datos oficiales de antes del terremoto. Entonces sabemos que la situación ahora es aún más complicada. El 4% de la población posee el 66% de las riquezas, mientras el 70% dispone del 20% y un 10% no dispone de ningún recurso.
I think it was very interesting, her presentation, because it's the first presentation till now we have heard the stories of good practices within countries and countries of the South. And Ms. Rodriguez has presented a good practice in favor of another country. So I think it's your presentation, your experience encapsulates the spirit of this Global South-South Development Expo, which is the South helping the South. And also the perspective of ILO, the tripartism in action in your case. Thank you.
In terms of South-South cooperation, we usually work for foreign governments and international agencies. We develop customized technical cooperation projects aimed to support the institutional strengthening of our partner. This is the key perspective of SENAI. This is important to mention that since our creation, SENAI has provided a lot of support to Latin American institutions of vocational training. This is part of our blood in a sense. You have, for example, many institutions in Latin America that promotes vocational training that were created based on SENAI's model. For example, you have in Colombia, the main institution is called SENA, SENAI without an I. You have, for example, in Peru, you have SENATI, and many other institutions were created based on SENAI's model.
If you want to make a change, what we heard about social floor or minimum wages or other things, it's key to have powerful social actors in societies. In a lot of areas, this is the labor movement, but what we have seen is that a lot of trade unions are sometimes lacking the competence and the expertise and the academic knowledge to really engage with other actors on the debate. So what we thought is, let's bring together unionists and academic people from all parts of the world and try to create a joint work of research, of study, and of policy development. How do we try to apply such a network on an issue like the social floor and social policy? So what we did is, first, we think our contribution is not so much on looking at the design and programs, but of the role of social actors and making it happen. Making it happen in designing the program and doing policy advocacy on this and mobilizing people that they can access the program. I mean, we know from our research in India, there's a huge difference if you have civil society organizations and unions who support people to access the program or not, to make it happen. So looking at a research, what are good experiences to involve people, whether they're organized in a membership-based organization or a trade union, to get access to this. The second, to have dissemination of this information across the world. I mean, we have students from 50 countries in the world. We have a lively alumni network which brings the people together. And the third is that we do basically publish, sending that out, reaching to the people and trying to build a body of people who have the necessary knowledge to engage in policy debates.
Uno de los aspectos puntuales que queríamos resaltar en el marco de esta actividad de la cooperación sur-sur es que uno de los grandes alcances que ha tenido la Comisión Centroamericana de Transporte Marítimo, basado en una iniciativa desarrollada por la UNTAD en los años 80, denominado el proyecto TRIMAR, la Comisión Centroamericana, a pesar de que esa iniciativa se agotó en el tiempo en el año 2002, adaptó un modelo de trabajo que nosotros bautizamos como la cooperación horizontal. La cooperación horizontal fue definido como un mecanismo establecido para el intercambio de conocimientos y experiencias en diferentes áreas, no específicamente en las áreas relacionadas al tema marítimo portuario, pero básicamente el enfoque de la cooperación horizontal pues tiene esa canalización en virtud del mandato que tiene esta comisión. Adicionalmente, promueve la solidaridad y el mutuo apoyo entre los países de la región. También es una herramienta que ha utilizado la Comisión para estrechar y hacer más fuerte la integración de nuestros países. Y esto les ha permitido a ellos compartir no solo entre sí, sino trascender en otros ámbitos de la relación en otras partes del mundo.